Welcome back to Veronica Live, and we are here. I'm here with Statesman John. He's my wingman, and now it's when we get to talk politics, and we've had an amazing show, but now we can go through our Afterburner stories, which I printed them all off. I had them for the last couple hours, read them all, and I've lost the folder. So I've literally misplaced 2 credit cards in the last week. What else did I lose? I'm surprised I haven't lost one of the dogs yet. I don't know. So
those are called senior moments, Veronica.
Well, I took the dogs last week to get groomed, put the credit card, the fancy credit card. So I haven't told my husband yet. So I've got but I know nobody's charged it because when somebody charges it, because I can Apple Pay, I get, I would know. So I've definitely lost it in the house, in some pants, and I've looked through all the pants, so I don't know what happened to it because I remember putting it in the pocket. And then another one I've misplaced too. So I am 0-2, and I'm not doing very well. I'm like an adult. I'm an adult teenager. Dad, I lost the credit card again. So I have not admitted this to my husband. So when he, don't listen to the show, honey. Okay. All right. Here we go. But I wanted to talk about the debate first because Donald Trump Biden came out and said that he is going to debate President Trump. And I think because his numbers are in the tank. So I want to play. It's just a quick little soundbite, which probably took him 50 times to take this little soundbite. So let's see. We're going to play some audio here so you can hear it in case you're the only person on the planet that hasn't heard this buffoonery of a president talk. So here we go.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal. I'll even do it twice. So let's pick the dates, Donald. I hear you're free on Wednesdays. Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020.
Okay, and the audio decided to play twice. But the point of the clip, make my day, and I put on X, I'm like, okay, Dirty Harry, he's always so cool. I'm surprised in the clip. I'm surprised he didn't put his Ray-Bans on, John.
Well, I mean, Dirty Joe would actually be pretty appropriate considering, that it's now official that he took showers with his daughter.
Well, exactly. And then didn't it come out this week too that he gets presidential immunity with his classified? Wasn't it his classified?
All the classified stuff he had in his Corvette and
give me a frickin' break.
The Penn Biden Center and every place else. He gets a pass on it, He gets a pass.
I mean, you literally want to throw up.
And he actually stole it because he had no legitimate legal basis to have that in his possession. He's not the president of the United States when he took it from the skiff and put it in a box. So
what did they say? Executive privilege, right?
He didn't have executive privilege. He was a vice president or a senator. He took a lot of it when he was a senator. So he literally stole classified information.
Yeah.
But, but it's Joe Biden. It's the Democrats. Democrats, anything goes. It's like, we're never held accountable for anything. We break the law with impunity. And that's what it is. That's modern American politics.
And, he in a lot of these swing states, they're showing the numbers, and he is literally crushing Biden, that all of a sudden they've had to come out and Biden's like, I'm going to debate Trump, But the sad thing is I'm not happy how it's gone down because I really wish that we had some conservative, at least one out of the 2 debates, one of them is a conservative platform. But, I heard a soundbite from Trump and he's just like, bring it, but I don't can you imagine somebody cutting my mic off, John? I would be ticked.
Well, a couple of things. First off, the one thing that they did is they excluded the Democrats now. They excluded Kennedy. They want him gone because he is damaging Biden.
Uh-huh.
He's pulling. He's not. Kennedy's gonna pull votes from Trump. And I was like, I can't imagine anybody living in this universe that would think that Robert Kennedy, liberal Robert Kennedy, and his ultra-liberal vice presidential pick would be pulling votes from Republicans, from MAGA. Are you insane? Now, I don't even think the Nikki Haley Republicans are that stupid, But he would definitely pull from the Democrats. The moderate Democrats is that's where the people that remember Kennedy, John Kennedy, Robert Kennedy, those people exist still, and they're the ones that are going to go vote for Robert Kennedy. And
I can't vote for Robert Kennedy because he's all about killing babies until the day they're born. So, he's literally a disaster himself, a complete liberal. But it's so funny because his family doesn't even support him. And, it's just ridiculous. Well, I just sent you the funniest Clay Travis just shared it. It's totally inappropriate. It's this artist has unveiled it's called the DIKS of Hazard in New York, featuring the faces of Alan Bragg, Judge Engoron, Judge Merchant, and Jack Smith on, I hate to say this word, penis balloons flying through New York. It is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. It said he spent $1,500 on this stunt, which took him 2 days to complete. These guys are a bunch of useless beep, he said. Okay, you're going to have to watch the video. I'm sorry. I'm getting that is hysterical to me in my older age.
Well, it was a good week for Trump, on the legal front, because basically the Jack Smith case has been continued indefinitely. And the judge in Florida that's overseeing the case is actually going to hold a hearing on whether Jack Smith is even legally appointed to that job. So that is a huge win for the Trump people.
Well,
and then you add in the Supreme Court stuff where the immunity question hasn't been answered by the Supreme Court. The judge said there's no way we can arrange a trial. We cannot set a date for a trial. It's impossible. So we're just going to continue until all this stuff gets answered. And by the way, it turns out that Jack Smith and his minions have been fooling around with the evidence. They've been lying to the court, and a judge wants some accountability. So, the Democrats think they can get away with all of this stuff, and there's no consequences. And I hope finally maybe there's a judge that's going to read them the riot act and hold them accountable. It's certainly not happening in New York.
Well, that's why there are these balloons flying around right now. Wait till you see the video, John. I'm sorry. I'm like a teenage girl. But it's the truth. I mean, these people are awful.
Well, I got to say, for the cartoon of the week, I had to forego one of them because I thought it'd be a bit racy for you. I'm having second thoughts now.
I know. When you see these flying male anatomy through New York City, I would wet my pants. So, oh my God, the video is hysterical. I'm sorry. This is awful that I think this is funny. I'm probably going to have to go to Catholic confession for this, but it's so funny. But one of the stories in the stack, and, because we've been talking today about this wonderful kicker from the Chiefs, Harrison Butker, that spoke at a Catholic college saying that he loves that his wife chose to be, raise his children and chose to be a homemaker. Now, granted, he's a millionaire, but why was he? People are like, it just came out and we were doing an interview with someone else that the Bush daughter, Jenna Bush and Hoda from NBC are like, oh my gosh. And I just commented on X, like, keep it to yourself, ladies. I don't need to hear from liberal ladies. I'm going to start a dating service for this, for men like this, because we want them, nobody wants to have children anymore. It's so sad. But, so that's the big story. But in the stack, you sent me the story about the NFL, because now the NFL, while we were on air, has the Chiefs released the address of this kicker. So what was the point of that, losers? And the NFL's been so weak that, we're stepping away. He can say what he wants to say. But if it was somebody that was like beating his girlfriend or, not paying their child support, they probably would stand with these people. The NFL sucks, I have to say. And one of my tweets was like, you can't support this, but, let's take a knee, something like that. And it's gone viral because the NFL sucks. And then you sent me this story about Papa John's Pizza. And wow, what a story, John.
I know. And it came out, that the NFL was claiming all along that this was a mutually agreed to, split, that Papa John's wasn't going to be the official pizza of NFL anymore. And the CEO of Papa John's came out and said, That's an absolute lie. Roger Goodell is telling an absolute lie.
Can you believe this? I'm shocked by this story.
Right. And what he was saying is the wokeness, the taking the knee and stuff, was costing Papa John money.
Well, and they've been partners, so everybody knows, since 2017. And in 2017, or since 2010, they've been partners. And in late 2017, the owner, Papa John's, John, contacted the NFL and said that this taking the knee during the national anthem had truly hurt their brand. And we're talking really hurt their brand. And so he tried to give him a chance to rectify it, but that didn't happen. So he took his pizzas and left.
Right. And what it's understandable. Go woke and go broke. That's the deal. And unfortunately, if you're a company, whether you're Anheuser-Busch or whatever, Dylan Mulvaney, it's like that's the association that happens.
And here's the quote. I fired Goodell. I got rid of him. That's on the record, but the media spins that the NFL was playing dirty. Roger Goodell is a dirty guy. He's a coward. I don't want to be associated with it. I don't care how powerful they are. I don't want to be in business with the NFL. That was my call, not their call. Wow. I mean, shocking. And that's the thing is, I how many friends did I have that gave up NFL fully when this whole taking of the knee crap started? I mean, right. I have friends that still haven't come back to watch it.
Right, and it's you get to the point where you don't want to watch it because it's all about the money and these rich, spoiled men out there, and that's exactly what a lot of them
are.
It's
said that their stock right now in 2024 has dropped estimated 30% lower than it used to be. And he was on a show and he goes, I've been telling you for 7 years, their behavior, lack of ethics, lack of principles, lack of loving people, lack of mutual respect, lack of win-win, lack of quality, lack of service, lack of cleanliness. Sooner or later, if you don't tend to the shop and run business with integrity and good customer experience, it's going to catch up. And so he tanked him. I mean, I'm literally shocked that, but
I'm glad
obviously
to see somebody actually speak up and say something about it, and maybe that's what it
but how disgusting the NFL tried to tweak, what the real story was. And then today releasing that kicker's home address on Twitter, who has the wife has a baby and a toddler. I mean, what is wrong with the NFL? I really wish that guy could go to some other team that would have his back. So it's disgusting.
I think there's to me it's something that tells you a lot about who people really are a lot of times. And I heard an interesting one on Glenn Beck today was I believe it's in South Carolina, and they were talking to the mom of the student. You may recall this from 3 or 4 weeks ago. There was a student who got suspended and labeled a racist for using the word illegal immigrant in his English class. Okay. So the story was the student, they had an assignment to write a paper, and the student asked, or actually wrote in there, illegal immigrant, which is the correct legal term for people that come into this country illegally. And the school system, the teacher got upset, the principal got upset, the school board got upset, and they passed some kind of stupid rule where they suspended him for being a racist. They declared him a racist.
It's so
think about that for a second, okay? A racist for using the word illegal immigrant. It's like, well, there's nothing racist about illegal immigrant. It applies to anybody, whether they're Chinese.
Well, it's scary. It's scary right now. And you and I are so out there. I had all my emails, like people tried to hack. Somebody took over my LinkedIn. They took over my husband's Facebook, impacted some of my family members. And then I was in a meeting this week with some conservatives, and this lady talked about her Facebook. Somebody put porn on it. So people are out to get you. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we talk the right talk. Yet, like this wonderful kicker who's Catholic, speaking at a freaking Catholic college telling his opinion. Now they're going after him. I'm sick of Catholics and Jews and people attacking us. I'm done. I'm fighting back. Screw you.
You should fight back. You should.
I am. And all my tweets have gone literally bananas commenting on this guy and I'm saying we need an army of men like this. What is wrong with our society is we don't have fathers in the house. We don't have faith. And guess what? Children are turning out like Shiza. You know what I'm saying? And what's wrong? I was a working woman a lot of my existence, but every single moment was dedicated to my children. And then I did stay home some with my daughter. So I've played it both ways. So, I'm fighting back, John. I'm fighting back. And this is a good guy. This is a good guy.
But this is what he's fighting against, Veronica, is called evil. Evil exists in this world. Evil is godless. Okay. They worship things like the NFL. They worship money. Okay,
well,
they will put money before principle. That's exactly what Papa John said. They put everything, money before everything else, and so they worship money. Money is the evil, and it's the same thing wherever you look. And like I said, this kid, the school board, because his mother pushed back. Okay, his mother wrote a letter about the suspension to the school board, and they outed her. They went back and dug through her. When she was, I guess when this boy that's in high school, I guess he's 17, 18, whatever. And when he was like 2 or 3 years old, she had a drug problem. She was on oxycodone. And, that was the popular thing back in the 80s and or 90s. And, so she got caught and got sentenced to prison for 6 years. So she did her time, got out for good behavior, changed her life, became an advocate to try to help people to stop them from using drugs. She's actually well recognized in that realm. And what does the school board do? They went out and they found her criminal record from way back when and published it. Now, what was the purpose of doing that? This is elected school board officials. Why would they do that? Because they're evil. They don't want to be held accountable for their actions. So they try to deflect. They try to embarrass the kid by saying, hey, your mother's been in prison and she was a drug addict and all this kind of stuff. What's the purpose? What's the purpose?
I don't know.
And do you think any member of that school board, this was done by the school board president, by the way, do you think any other member of that school board spoke up and said one word about how wrong this is? Didn't happen. They're all complicit. And I agreed with Glenn.
Well, who's complicit now when some wackadoodle's going to come to this guy's home and try to do something? Sort of like when they outed the Supreme Court justices. You know what I'm saying? And
it's okay. It's okay to give out their address. It's okay for the guy to show up with a knife to kill Brett Kavanaugh. That's okay. Nothing's going to happen to him, is it? Because he's on the Democrat side.
Right.
God forbid a Republican should show up and do that to a Democrat. You'd never hear the end of it. The crying and the whining and everything else.
Well, Clay Travis today was talking on a show, and it made me cry because he talked about in the beginning he made like $60,000. His wife was trying to work. They had 2 kids. All the money was going to daycare, and he didn't make his. I guess he made $100 million when he sold Outkick, and he's like, it changed his life when his wife didn't have to work anymore, and I feel like he works now, but he goes, I take vacations now. I do stuff with my family. He goes, people will send me a DM going, why aren't you on the air? But he's like, I'm trying to enjoy my family now. 'Cause before we couldn't ever do it, and it just changed his life when his wife was able to be at home and not have to work and drive, take kids to daycare. And then you're tired and you've worked all day and then you're trying to cook dinner at night. I mean, it's a rat race, and we all do the rat race, but if you don't have to do the rat race, it's nice. And what's wrong with that?
It goes back to, why do you do the rat race? I've listened to Dave Ramsey for decades, and the advice that he gives, it's like, you don't need that fancy new car with the $600 a month payment if you're making $50,000 a year. You may want it, but you don't.
Well,
need
how
it.
many times?
And that's That's different. Life is hard, okay?
Well,
Read the
how
Bible,
many
okay? Life is hard.
times
It's
have
supposed to be hard.
I've done,
Nothing is
you know,
perfect in life.
I was a protocol officer and I did plenty of retirements. I've been to plenty of retirements. And what was the one thing I heard generals say this so many times when they retired? Take care of your family. You want them there at the end when it's time to retire, 20 years or 25 or 30 years. Because guess who's going to be there? You want the family to be there.
Right.
You know?
At the retirement ceremony, I don't know about Air Force retirement ceremonies, but I've from the Navy side, at the retirement ceremony, when you walk, you know, down that final time there, guess who's on your arm? The service member. Guess who's on his arm? His wife.
Who gets the flowers?
Right. Exactly.
You know?
Because they recognize
the woman that's been attacking me the whole time, you know, because I said that, you know, I was in the military for 20 years and I had a strong husband that has always supported me. And she's the one that said, oh, I must be, you know, pregnant and cooking. And I was like, well, I don't cook anymore. But she still texted me. I believe women should choose to do whatever they want. Clearly, you don't believe in your family if you spent 20 years in the military not focusing on your family like Butker thinks you should have. Are you a bad wife and mother? He thinks you are. Well, I'm done. I bantered with this, a sunshine with sunglasses, too many times. So I'm like over and out.
Is, Veronica, doing crazy comes naturally to her.
Oh
okay?
my gosh! Well,
so in order to talk to her, you have to go to her level of crazy.
Oh, I know.
And she's a whole lot better at it. You are, so you're never going to win.
No. Well, because I want to put, you know, that you're a bleep head and press on, you know. But yeah, these people, they're literally crazy. So there's this story about this kicker is literally gone bananas in the last 2 days. And, you know, what is wrong? What is wrong with having a man that wants to support you in whatever your endeavor? And I've always told that because I'm very type A, strong. I married a type A, and I've always told that to women mentoring them. You should be able to marry somebody that supports you. And when I want to run off and go do Republican things, my husband doesn't always want to go do that with me, but he's never put me on a leash. I wouldn't want a husband that put me on a leash.
I'll tell you where it comes from, Veronica. And I
tell me.
I mentioned it earlier. That you have this cadre of women out there that some of them don't like men, okay? And there's a lot of them that have screwed themselves up so badly that no man is interested in them, okay? And we're talking men that they think they deserve, you know, they all think they deserve the 95th percentile guy that makes a six-figure salary.
Well, here's another one. This is her name on X is Lovely Dead. And she says that she's U.S. Navy retired, lover of Norse folklore, sassy and direct person, heart is black, feelings are dead. And then, of course, she goes to attack me that I am some messed up middle-class woman, that real men are only exist in the what's that word? Dystopian world with the wealthy elite. Veronica's in the effed up world of middle class.
See, Veronica, the woman you just described. She's exactly the woman I'm talking about.
No man's going to look or talk to them because
I can imagine her, you know, being U.S. Navy retired. I would not be surprised if her body count was in the triple digits, okay? Nobody wants her. She's old. She's probably ugly, and nobody wants her, and she is miserable and bitter about it.
And they beat me up because I have a nice husband, and I put lipstick on. You know,
you have the life she wants. And she's jealous of you.
Well, and the life you want. I mean, I've had a hard life with breast cancer. You know what I'm saying? And I've moved 100 times. So, I mean, I have a great life. Don't get me wrong. God blesses me.
Right, but the difference, Veronica, is you are happy with your life. She is miserable about her life. And nothing she can do is going to make her life any
Well,
better.
it's so
and the
funny.
fact that you're happy about your life, you don't have to do anything to make your life better. It's already good.
Right. I always, when I've mentored women, I one of the things I heard this many when I was young, choose a good date that will make a good mate. So when you're dating, it's about choosing, you're dating not to just date. If you're dating to find a spouse. And, I think those are true words. Choose a good date that will make a good mate. And I'm always like, you have to choose a guy that will treat you like a princess. I love being a queen, but I'm not a baby. I can change a light bulb, I can put gas in my car and I can take the trash out, and I know how to cook. I cooked for 20 years. And then when my husband finally retired from the military, he's much better at it. And the firemen don't show up and I don't end up in the ER with a missing thumb. So, and it's not that I won't cook. I'll cook, but it's nice to have a partner that when I had babies, if I needed somebody to change a diaper, he would do it. But if he was flying the next day 3 times, I would get up with the baby when I was active duty because I didn't want him crashing the jet because he was tired. I was flying a desk, which I can do with my, I was superb in the military. I have all the medals to prove it. So what the hell?
The military places peculiar demands on you. I mean, when I was flying in the Navy, I came home one day at lunchtime, and my wife saying, "What are you doing home?" I was like, "I have to pack a bag. I'm going to Bermuda for a week."
Yeah.
Because we got in a call and said, "We need y'all in Bermuda, to do some work, ASW work out here," and that was the life. You lived on a flight schedule. You didn't know what you were going to do the next day until you read the flight schedule, basically. So, that's just the life you accept. And everybody I would say everybody puts up with it. I mean, it's like, I was happy to do it. I enjoyed it.
And then I had times where I had to help others because my sister and brother-in-law were both deployed to Afghanistan. Yeah. The Army was unforgiving and relentless in deploying their people. And I took their 2-year-old for 6 months while my sister was over there because he needed somewhere to land. And he was a crazy 2-year-old too, unlike my children. He was crazy.
You couldn't send him home, huh?
It was funny because I tried to find some daycare and it was like, finally they had 2 hours twice a week. And finally I was like a week after I was like, can I take him every day for 2 hours? Because, of course the poor kid had both of his parents ripped out from him, but my whole family stepped up, loved this little kid, gave him as much ice cream as he wanted. He was adorable, and you got to love him. So, you wear hats sometimes that are not expected in life, but if you throw me that football, oh my gosh, when it was time to give him back, you would have thought he was a foster child. I cried for like 24/7 and I was like, I miss him. And then we went to a movie and I was like, okay. And then the movie was over. It was some Star Trek movie. And I was like, I miss him. And it wasn't like I was giving him to some family I was never going to see. Plus he drove me insane, but that's the attachment that I had because I took the role seriously. Now he's older, of course, and a teen. But it's just so crazy because I'm getting so slammed by these liberal ladies that probably don't even know what eyeliner or lipstick is.
Well, all you have to do is look at The View. And,
oh my gosh! Well, that one showed her picture.
What it's all about,
Yeah.
I mean, The View is full of it, and
shut up and color. You have to treat men nice too. You have to treat men nice because what is marriage? I mentor people. Marriage is about loving somebody. It's not about fighting. And then you want to choose somebody. I knew my husband was the right one because he liked Diet Coke and Seinfeld. So at our first date we went to church. He was the right one for me.
All I got to say is all you have to do is look at the YouTube. I guess it's the TikTok or FaceTime or whatever the hell. And see these women, and I just laugh so hard when I see it. But they're typically sitting in their car. They got the phone pointed at their face, and they're upset. They're crying. I can't find a man. I need some help. I can't make the bills. I can't do this. I can't do that. And I'm just laughing at these women. And it's like, take a look in the mirror, and maybe you'll figure out why nobody's interested in you. Nobody wants that.
Because you have to comb your hair. Well, I've always joked, I don't care if I was deploying or whatever. I don't leave without my war paint on, and that's eyeliner and lipstick. So, another interesting story that was not in our stack that's kind of been breaking is that the Air Force just released like a new DEI policy. And of course, what are they pushing, John? It's not warfare. I'm trying to find the story here on my phone.
Oh, I saw the one with the Navy there with Admiral Franchetti.
Well, that would...
Mr. Franchetti.
Yeah.
That DEI is not going to interfere with warfighting capabilities, and I'm laughing. You contrast that with which was it there?
Well, here's the one I'm talking about. The United States Air Force just sent out this memo about its upcoming Pride Month, ladies and gentlemen. They claim LGBTQ inclusion makes the military stronger and ultimately creates a more effective team. So I saw this letter that just came out and talks about all of this, paving the way for a more equitable military and American society. Yeah. Take your equitable and shove it, because I'm sick of it. The military is not about pride crap. It's about what you always say, breaking things and killing people and deterrence. So, shut up. I looked at this woman, her name's Marianne Malizia. She's an SES. She's the Deputy Assistant Secretary of the Air Force, Force Resilient, Chief Diversity Officer. So I looked her up yesterday, and she went to West Point. John. Wow. She was in the Army for 9 years. She actually, she wears eyeliner. I was impressed. But, I mean, what is this? Why do we have to have this in the military? You know what I'm saying?
The problem is, Veronica, the military was behind the times in DEI, okay? So it swept through the universities.
It's merit.
Right. And then it sweeps into the federal government. Now it's sweeping into the military. But the other story in the stack of stuff is from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, is zeroing out the DEI funding on campus.
Yay.
The entire office gone, $2.3 million, and they're taking the money and they're giving it to the public safety. They're giving it to the police for better public safety. And I say, imagine that, taking the DEI money and spending it on the police instead. So, and it's not just UNC. That is a trend that is starting. Florida's the same way. Florida actually started a year ago on that, zeroing out these DEI offices. And I think you're going to see that. It'll start from the conservative South, from the universities in the South. I don't know if it'll ever get to New York or the poison ivies or whatever, but I can damn well tell you it's going to come from the conservative South that you'll see the DEI go away. Because
good.
Because
I'm tired of it. And, that other clip, did I send you that? It was Congresswoman Presley, the woman that's bald, the black woman. And she talked about white men, how awful they are, that they're the problem, John. And I'm like, I'll find the clip here while we're talking. But
okay.
You're just terrible, John. I don't like you at all.
I can't remember there was a black guy. I can't remember his name. Again, YouTube thing there, and he interviews these black people, and he's conservative and very religious, and usually the black guest starts spewing all this stuff about diversity and systemic white supremacy and all this kind of stuff, and so he just asks him straight up, he's like, "Well, name one white guy that stopped you from doing something." And he gets these looks like, you're not a black man. You can't ask those kind of questions. And it's like, name one white person that has stopped you from doing something. You sit here and said, you're suffering from systemic white racism. So you made a statement. Now tell me exactly how systemic white racism has stopped you from doing something.
Because it hasn't. Because all the white guys are nice. And then right now they're so afraid to do anything because somebody will report them to HR. You know, it's gone extreme. It was sort of like when we had what was it, hashtag Me Too. A man couldn't even tell you look nice, you know?
You're afraid to say, hey, yeah, you look good today. That's a nice dress. I like that dress.
So it's a picture of, she went kind of viral yesterday, and somebody wrote, what comes to mind? It has her picture. And I was really in a bad mood, I guess, yesterday. I wrote, wear a damn wig. I can say this because I've had to wear one when my hair fell out. Nobody likes a bald woman, and I hated every moment of it. This is for attention. So sorry, that was not a DEI one, but that's how, I'm so tired of it, you know. I'm so tired. Oh, and the other thing was that Caitlin Clark made her pro debut with the WNBA, the most watched women's game ever, and then some black woman came out saying, you know, it's everybody's fault that you don't care about us, you know, you only care about her. So it's just really out of control right now.
Yeah, well,
with everything.
Well, it's like you said, merit. Merit has no place in the society anymore.
And you and I only operate on merit,
right?
So
I want to be the best that I can be. You know, we talked to Hung Tao. You talk about merit. Read his book, folks.
Oh, the book was great.
Merit. Oh my God.
Well, and that's the thing about
on, you know.
Well, and the Naval Academy, he had some issues, and I was shocked to read. So I don't want to give the story away because it's a really interesting story. But wow, you know, it's just, so here's her comment. I found it. So this guy's really bad. Joey Monorino on X. Yeah, you got to be careful. I mean, he's bad in that he really tells you what he's thinking. It's like flying penises that I just sent John the video. Alopecia Ayanna Presley just said she's so tired of white men on the floor of Congress. She's like, I'm tired of she said it on the floor of Congress. So I'm tired of anti-white racism being allowed with our representatives. And this woman represents white men is what he wrote. But she wrote about all the her little clip is that everything's caused by white men. White men. Then how did you get to Congress, honey? Somebody voted for you. It's not all about white men.
All I can say is, you know, Veronica, it goes back to my earlier comment, you know, when we were talking to Kevin. These big cities where you have all of this crime, all of this decay, all of this homelessness, you know, you name it, you know, every misery you can think of, every human misery. They're all run by minorities. Okay.
Well, here's a black guy wrote. Listen to this. This black guy wrote, this is Exhibit A of my scorn for black women and their politics. If a white man can't say it about you, you shouldn't be able to say it about him. And especially if you hold an office in a white country by white people. My break with the community begins right here. So this is a black man that is telling her to take a hike.
Right.
Oh my gosh!
You know, I don't judge people on their skin.
And he on his thing,
character.
He's like angry American who sees it all clearly now. I'm a MAGA, but not a Republican. I'm an anti-Democrat. I'm real, and I write my own posts. You can Google me. Oh my gosh, I love this guy. I'm gonna have to see if he'll come on my show.
Right. I mean, what's wrong? What's wrong with having people that like the country? You know, they're actually proud to be Americans. Okay, that was a good thing. And you know, I grew up in the era of, you know, watching Superman. You know, Superman come on the TV there. You know, the truth, justice, and the American way. That's what I grew up with. You know, and that's what I believed. And I always believe. I still believe in it. And to me, there's nothing better than America. There's not. You've got so many opportunities you would never have anywhere else.
Well,
ask that bald-headed black woman if she had had that kind of opportunity in another country. Ask her that. What country do you think she could raise to become one of the leaders, one of the 500-some people leaders of this country? What other country could she do that in?
But here's the thing, you know.
It wouldn't put up with that stupidness, you know.
No, and you know, when I joined the military, there was barely any women. It was a very small number, you know. And people are always like, "How did you survive?" And I'm like, "Well, nobody got in my way." No, I mean, I wasn't harassed. So what is wrong with these people? I just worked hard at every moment. And for these people, they just, I don't know, they all want it all for free. And so that was Ilion Omar. Today has one that 1 in 4 children in America they're hungry. And so I wrote, okay, well, then stop letting illegals in, so we can feed them, right? I mean, no offense.
Let's just start with the basics, okay? 1 in 4 children is an absolute lie that they're first off, define hunger, okay? Are they emaciated? Like the pictures you all used to see from Africa, from the famines. Well,
I do know from having the superintendent on the show here that, things have happened that, they've got to give people breakfast and lunch. And plus we've gone through a Cat 5 hurricane here 6 years ago, and some people haven't recovered. Plus now you add on Biden economics and people are barely making it, and they have 12 jobs, because they can't get full-time jobs, and, they can't even be sick. So, I mean, it's rough, but I think this woman is ridiculous.
Veronica, the absolute truth is, in this country, in the United States of America, that if you don't have a job, you don't have anything else. I guarantee you, if I'm hungry and I need to go get a meal, I guarantee you I could get one. I could go down to a church. I can go down to the...
Well, every time my church does a food line, it's right. So long. And, right. And I was driving to Tally, and one church was they had a food line, and I was shocked at how long it is. So people are definitely suffering, but you're right. People will give you food if you need it, So.
It's like you see the panhandler sitting, by the side of the road, and they've got the sign up there, hungry, unemployed, whatever.
Well, my favorite one in Vegas, the guy actually had beer. I want beer, and so I gave him money. That was.
Right. but how many, and we've done this dozens of times. Is you roll down the thing and says, "I will go down to McDonald's and get you a hamburger, cheeseburger.
Oh,
which one would you like?"
Yeah,
and you know what they generally tell you?
Oh, I know. I've been told this.
I want the money.
I don't need that. I've had 20 hamburgers today.
Right, and it's like, so you're not hungry then, are you? You just want money. You don't want to work for money. So to me, it's like, the people say, "Oh, what would Jesus do?" And it's like, Jesus wouldn't be a panhandler, number one, okay?
Well, we definitely have some mental illness, but when you kick out homeless and veterans for illegals, I'm like, what the heck, So,
well, I think the whole thing, Veronica, is we're trying to transition to a country that's where we no longer allow or recognize or want rugged individualism. That's what made America great. Rugged individualism, where you succeed and get ahead by your accomplishments. And that's what we've been talking about today. Merit, 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 People that work hard get ahead. Always, always, okay? So, so what does the government do? The government wants to control us. The government wants to tell us what kind of light bulbs we can have. They want to tell us how much water our toilets can flush. They want to tell us how much water our washers can use.
Oh, the pizza ovens, the freaking light bulbs.
Right. You can't have gas.
And every car is going to be a plug-in. Well, I screw stuff up. I need gas because I'll somehow not get that connection going, which has happened to people.
But Veronica, where in the Constitution, where in our society is a legitimate function of government to tell you how to live your life, how much water you can flush down the toilet? Where in the world is that in the Constitution that's a legitimate function of government? It's not. And that's the problem, is we've not pushed back against these people. One of the stories, and I laughed when I heard it, but I know exactly, the end of the story was exactly what I expected. And that was, the name of this one is, "The Smell of Cooking Food is Actually Air Pollution, Study Finds." Now, I was like, who in their right mind would go out and do a study on cooking odors? Those cookies, you put the cookies in the oven and they smell so good, right? That's air pollution now. So cooking your dinner is now air pollution. And guess what? This university says, now that we've identified it, we can find ways to quantify it so we can regulate it. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Leave my cookies alone.
All right. Leave my cookies. Leave my damn pizza oven. Because before, remember, light bulbs used to be cheap, and now you have to buy the fancy ones. It supposedly lasts 10 years.
Right. Except
I
they
don't know.
cost 15 times as much.
It's beyond my pay grade. I just want to have pizza and light.
I want to walk into that fancy restaurant, that fancy French restaurant over on 30A.
The Renaissance.
The aroma, okay?
No, I don't want you there because I need to have a seat. But actually, the chef shared this weekend. He shared the interview on Instagram, so it went everywhere. I have to say. Anyways, any thoughts before we conclude on who you think the VP pick's going to be? Do you have one that you'd like?
Well, Trump is Trump's Trump, and it's going to be transactional, okay?
Would you think it'll be the governor of North Dakota? He just has no pizzazz. Sorry. I don't want it to be him.
Back to what I said, transactional. What the VP candidate has to bring something to the table, okay? So when you think of transactional, that's what Kevin said. Who's bringing what to the table? The Marco Rubio thing there. It's like, but Marco Rubio would have to move out of the state of Florida. He'd have to resign from the Senate. Not going to happen. J.D. Vance, I don't know. He doesn't have enough experience to be.
No, he doesn't.
To be vice president. So back to transactional. Who does Trump need to attract?
How about Sarah Huckabee Sanders?
Absolutely. She was first choice.
She would kick ass. Okay? She would kick ass. And her picture's not appearing anywhere, but I love her. And she's kicked ass in her state already.
Right. She's
cleaned
so
it
articulate. Up. Trump respects her.
Yeah.
I think, and she understands Trump. Okay. This is very key. Okay.
Oh,
she
that's true.
Who Trump
very
is.
True.
And she knows when to say something, and more importantly, when not to say anything.
Well, let's start a movement.
So all these other people that you have, all the politicians, the problem is Marco Rubio. If Marco Rubio gets a VP nod, he's going to spend 4 years running for president in 2026, 2028. Okay, that's what he's going to do. So Trump's not going to put up with that. You can't overshadow Trump ever. Period.
Right.
So my thinking is it has to be somebody that's not likely.
I don't know. J.D. Vance I don't think I don't know what Tulsi. I'll have to Google what Tulsi. I'm trying to get Tulsi on our show.
Well,
and
first off, she's female. Okay, that's why I like Kristi Noem. I thought she would back to balance and transactional. Okay, she's going to bring the suburban women. Where's Trump weak with? Suburban women. Where's he weak at? Independence. That's why I like Tulsi Gabbard.
Well, here's this. When you Google her, it says, has generally supported legal abortion through the first 20 weeks of pregnancy, though her views on abortion have changed over time. When young, she was totally opposed to it. So maybe she kind of took that other stance just to get elected.
Well, she was a Democrat. You got to remember that, in Hawaii, which is liberal.
Yeah.
But more to my point, though, Trump's already stated what his position is. He doesn't have a position. It's up to the states to make that decision. And that anybody that's smart on the Republican side running for president would say that. We spent 50. Here's what makes me so mad about Republicans, Veronica, and this whole abortion thing, because the Democrats want to make the election about abortion, right? We spent 50 years saying we need the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade. We got it. And you know what we were ready for when it happened? We weren't. We were not prepared for it. We were shocked, stunned, and amazed that, hey, we overturned Roe. Yay, great, wonderful. It's back to the states. Now what are you going to do about it, Republicans? And the Republicans have been a disorganized mess when it comes back to the state level politics. Fortunately, we lived in Florida. We've got Ron DeSantis in there, strong governor, got the legislature behind him. He actually got something done. You notice it wasn't no abortions, right?
Yeah.
It was 15 weeks to 6 weeks. because that's what's publicly
Well, I've
acceptable.
Googled her now. Susan B. Anthony, Pro-Life America. They're saying she's definitely pro-choice, and they've got her voting record, and it's not good. It's not good. But do we sacrifice it to win the White House? Because I mean, on so many issues, and I heard her speak in September or November, whenever that was last year. She was great on all the border, and I don't know. Our country's just failing right now. It's just failing.
So the other thing is you need somebody that can take Kamala Harris apart in a debate.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, Tulsi Gabbard and Sarah Huckabee Sanders would both do that like you wouldn't believe. And there would be no beating up on the women kind of thing. You got to remember, you got a guy in there, right? Remember back to Paul Ryan, right? You can't be beating up on the woman. Not allowed.
Wow. Well, it's just ridiculous. And CatholicVotes.org just put on X. They've got because there's a petition trying to take out the kicker from the Chiefs now, and so they've got the petition to keep him. So these people, oh my gosh, because he did his own free thing. He's not in the military either. That's the funny thing. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there's nothing wrong. We live in a free society, If you're entitled to have whatever views you want.
In the military, you can't talk politics or stuff, but once you're out, you can. And he's not even in the freaking military, and all the libs are going after him. He's going to end up on top, It's sort of like people beat up Tim Tebow, and then guess what? He married a Christian Miss Universe, so what a great guy. I'm like, screw you all. She's a knockout, So she married my guy, the cougar I am. I love him. But what great things they've done. He's fighting sex trafficking around the world. He's so godly. She's godly. You know what I'm saying? They're doing the right thing with his platform. So people they really suck.
Good will eventually win over evil, But it's a fight. It's a constant fight because evil exists in the world and it's always trying to defeat good.
Well,
we just need to keep that in mind.
The Catholic
evil people out there. Evil.
I just signed the Catholic Vote petition. John, I'm going to send it to you. You need to, too.
Okay.
I'm going to send it to everybody I know. And we're going to support this good guy. And I'm going to start a dating service for husbands like that for all of my young gals that are single. So, but we've had an incredible show. Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of dating apps, I heard there was some dating app that was, it was like Tinder or what's the other one? Is it Match.com? Whatever. There's a couple of them out there. But anyway, this one was designed originally for women where the guys could get on there and put their profile and the women could, but the guys could not communicate with the women. The women had to initiate all communication with whatever person they were interested in. Well, apparently this website has become a complete disaster, and they're now allowing men to initiate conversations because women do not like to initiate conversations for dates. Apparently, they don't like asking for dates. Which, really, is that a surprise to any sociologist that understands, male and female dynamics? That women do not go up and say, "Hey, you want to go out on a date?" That's usually not the way it works.
Oh my gosh!
So it was funny to watch this woman-oriented or feminist. I guess better word, feminist. Okay, feminist-oriented dating site crash and burn, and then figure out, men are important in this equation.
Yeah. We need them to help procreate.
Yeah, kind of hard to do it otherwise. But,
oh my gosh. Well, anyways, I will. What a great show. We want to thank Kevin Smith, founder of The Loud Majority, on his shows on Rumble. He's a host on X Spaces all the time. I've been on with him on X. Credible was awesome segment. Great New Yorker fighting the fight. April Cal, she has co-authored a book with her husband, Call Me an American, Refugee to Patriot, Lessons Learned for a Strong America, and you can find that on Amazon. And then we enjoy talking to candidate for Bay County Commission, the District 1 seat, Daniel Raffield, and great, John. It was a great show, as usual.
Yes, it was. A lot of information, and I encourage people to listen to for the content. It's good information. You'll learn
All right. Well, we'll be back. Got lots of guests in the queue. And actually, the breaking news last night was Joe Pags. I was tweeting on his X, and I told him I was such a fan, would love to host you. And he gave me his email. So I sent him an email. He said he doesn't always do it, but he sent me the email, and guess what? He's on 160 national stations. And how did he get there? Why is he a conservative fighter? He's also a cancer survivor. He's got a bunch of daughters too, 5 of them. So, oh my gosh, can you imagine? His voice is amazing. He's on X Spaces a lot.
I don't know if you've listened to the show, but he also sings.
Okay, I've not heard him sing yet.
He does parodies. Oh, they're so funny when he does them, and they're usually set to music, and it just.
Okay. I listen to him a lot, but obviously I haven't listened to him enough. So.
Well, he's on. What is he on? He's on.
He's on 102.5, our station, I podcasted his show too. So no, he's great, and he goes, I don't do a lot of these, but he's like, send me an email. So I'm gonna lock him in.
That'd be fun. That'd be a fun interview.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? So, anyways, Veronica Live. Follow us on Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram, X, Podcast Addict, YouTube, LinkedIn. I post a lot. True Social and Rumble I need to get better at, but our show is kicking ass. And that was the other story. Oh my gosh, John, I forgot. We were featured because I interviewed Rhonda Woodward, and the reporter from the Tallahassee Democrat talked about the show. And so I'll have to read you that. So that was like awesome to me. I just feel like we're on the cusp of really breaking out when these things are happening, because when we have interviews, we get to talk to people for a long time, and we have substance in our interviews.
Right, they're not 1 minute soundbite.
No.
They're actually getting into the meat of stuff.
And so the story said Woodward told a grassroots political podcast hosted by Air Force veteran Veronica Kemeny, a past Bay County chair for former President Donald Trump's campaign, that Republicans need to join Matt Gaetz, the member of Congress for the state's far west panhandle, and U.S. Rep. Marjorie Taylor Greene, to stand up for conservative principles in the U.S. House. So I shared the story on all my platforms, but we made it there. And then I went to a local event here, and it's the Bay County Coastal newspaper, and it's an online. And apparently they were mad when I was taken off air and made an adorable joke. Did I send that to you?
No, I hadn't seen that one.
My gosh. Apparently it was in this paper after I was taken off air, because everybody was mortified, because they loved when we were on the airwaves, the radio airwaves, but I was always a podcast too, so it didn't matter. But yes, apparently we have lots of fans that we made it into a newspaper saying that you can't keep a good woman down. So I will share that on all the platforms too. So honored that people do love the show. And so if you want to be a sponsor and help us break to the next level, would love to have that happen. But we're going to continue to deliver amazing content on Veronica Live. As usual, John, thanks for being my wingman. All right. Well, God bless everybody, and we'll be back soon. All right. Take care.